Welcome back to Real-ationship Goals, a podcast all about exploring the realities and complexities of healthy relationships. Real-ationship Goals is a project of the Prevention and Education Team at the Advocacy Center for Crime Victims and Children in Waco, Texas. If you or someone you know has experienced sexual violence or harassment and is seeking support services or needs more information, links to resources and our hotline number can be found in the description. The views expressed in this podcast are those of the hosts and guests and do not necessarily reflect those of their organizations or affiliates.
Let's do it. Right. Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of Real-ationship Goals. My name is Kyla and I use she, her pronouns.
My name is Mónica. I use they, she pronouns.
Hi, I'm Sarah Freeland.
Perfect. So we are having another wonderful community spotlight episode, and we are so grateful to be joined by Sarah, who works for our community libraries. So Sarah, we would love for you to just share with us a little bit about the many things that the library does and what you do for the library too.
Where do I start? Right. So I work for the Waco-McLennan County Library. We are the public library of Waco. And not only do we serve Waco, but we also serve McLennan County. So we have partnerships with other county libraries, basically to share resources and to make sure that all residents of McLennan County can access the information and recreational resources that they need. So public libraries are really built by their communities. I love to kind of talk a little bit about the history of Waco Library. So we basically started our services 125 years ago. So in January of 1900.
Happy anniversary to the library.
Thank you. I'm really excited. But the library was really built by residents, Waco residents, as far as like were the ones that said, hey, we need a library. They were the grassroots, foundation of the library. We wouldn't be in existence without our community members. And so it's really fun to go back and just kind of see the input that shaped what the library is today. And, I think that that's really important to remember. A public library should always reflect its community. And so the way that we exist today is we're always trying to be shaped by input from our community members. So I'm excited to be here to have a conversation with you guys because, relationships are what build the library.
I know that a lot of people, I feel like, have a very in the box perception of the library and what the library does.
Yes.
What are some things about specifically our libraries that you want people to know or you wish people knew?
Well, we're not just books.
Yes, right. Also a cat cafe.
Yes.
Also almost like a blockbuster. I've been getting so many movies from here.
That's right. As far as with the disappearance of the video stores. I love the rise of streaming, but the reality is there are limits there.
We have this conversation all the time.
Yeah.
I'm like, we need 12 streaming video
for everything.
Yeah.
Now everything has ads and things, so it's just becoming more inaccessible, especially fees keep going up and what you get is going down.
We thought that streaming will replace cable, it'll be so much more economical, and now we're starting to see that rise.
Yeah.
And again, libraries are all about access, so I love the fact that we have those massive thousands upon thousands of DVDs. Everything from feature films to TV shows to documentaries, things that people can come and access and take home. And they can take them home for 3 weeks at a time. They can renew them if there's no one else in line for them. And it's not just DVDs. We also have disc golf kits.
I was going to say, and also I was thinking about the litter kits.
Yes. As far as we want people, libraries are all about connecting people to resources, and those aren't just print or digital forms. Sometimes they're hey, what resources do you have available in the community? How do you engage as a resident? And so Yeah, we're the home to a wonderful disc golf course. I don't play myself, but
I watch people play.
I know that we host as far as like very impressive, world competitions here. And so it's something, the library is a great place to come if you're just curious and you're wanting to kind of like engage in something that perhaps you haven't engaged before, or maybe you're the avid, I know exactly what I want. I want to find out all of the details of these model trains. Yeah. Hopefully we can look at resources and pursue the passions.
The library just feels like at the end of the day, in many ways, like an open door to so many worlds, both like in the obvious way of like books and stories, and they transport us into other worlds, but also just it opens the door to all of these connections in a way that people just don't realize.
It makes me think of like, because we've shared a lot with you that we were like library kids, and it made
Yes.
And I don't know if you were with the Waco Public Libraries when it was before the West Waco Library. I don't remember what it was called.
RB.
Yes, that was the library that me and my mom would go to with the big old dragon. Yes, and I remember like my mom would always take me. We would always kill time at the library. And something that I love about the library is like one of those things where you literally get to hang out and everything is free.
Yes.
And
there's no time limit on being at the library other than the hours that it's open.
Yeah. And we would be there for hours. And one thing about my family specifically, like my mom was able to read Spanish books, and I was able to read whatever I wanted to do. But what brought us there too, I love that you talked about like the printing. I don't think a lot of people realize the printing and like the computers. And so I mean, like even now, a lot of people don't have printers. I mean, they're expensive, ink and all these things.
Like we have our phones, and for so many of us, that enables us to connect online and do most of what we need to do, like banking and that type of thing. But every now and again, you'll run into things where you're like, okay, I am trying to file my taxes online, and the reality is that's just really hard to do on like your small device format. And so we have a lot of individuals who are coming in to fill out job applications, who are coming in to submit paperwork. And yes, it is really great to have those types of resources.
Yeah,
and
we were always there.
Yeah, I don't have a printer at home.
Yeah, right.
Most of us, as we move more and more to the digital world, the reality is the demand, has gone down. And so many of us are like, that doesn't make sense for me to have that at home. But every now and again, you run into that. Yeah, you need a printer, and the library can do that for you.
It's awesome. I would say I also just want to give a shout out to the ebook, like the digital app that y'all use as well. I've been a cloud library girly. I mostly got my library card partially because I needed one because it's the library, but also because I said, I've never been an ebook person, but y'all's app has kind of transformed me. And now I'm like, I always have like at least 4 books checked out at any point in time.
It also opened me up to audiobooks.
Yeah.
Because like with physical books, it's really hard for me to read just because like I'm busy. In my prior job, like I would go to Austin a lot. And so now I do more audiobooks. And I was like, this is such a different world. And now I get to have read so many books because of audiobooks. And it was really like Cloud Library that opened me up to that.
Well, and it's such an accessibility issue. So, like part of my family story, my dad is dyslexic. And so for years and years, it was just kind of like, he felt like accessing the world of books was really impossible for him. And when he discovered audiobooks, it was a game changer. And that is how he uses the library. It is a nonstop rotation of audiobooks that he has checked out. And it's been really fun to see him make that transition to the digital platform where he's like, you mean I don't have to worry about a scratch baby?
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm going for the audio.
When I was up there looking at movies, because one of my goals this year is to watch more movies. And I'm like, I should just get them from the library because the ads, we had a community movie night recently, and we wanted to watch A Bug's Life, and we were kind of was like, I have a Disney
Plus.
Disney
Like
Plus.
a week before we went.
Wait, there's ads, and I was like, wait, the library, and the library. I always say library, and so we actually utilized, and then also with the DVDs, like. Growing up, you know, we used DVDs and VHS and everything, but they come with like games and all these different, like the second disc.
Those from some of the Barbie movies.
Yeah. And so, anyways, I forgot where I was going with that.
Oh, and there's like bonus features, deleted
Yeah.
scenes, and there's just so much. Like animators took the time to make that menu pop up and things like that. And there's just so much that we've lost, and there's so much nostalgia in a lot of that too. Like we had like the THX, like that pops up with the sound, and we're all like, "Whoa!" It's like being transported back.
I know. I remember where I was going with that when I was up there going to get movies. I was like looking around. I was like, oh, the audio. These are audiobooks, and because I've only realized the digital ones, and so yeah, I just be thinking about like there's a lot of history here. Like there's like how you were saying, a lot of things have gone digital.
And a lot of people, as far as like, you're like, okay, I mean, the reality is formats change. Like, you know, we don't have VHS tapes in the library anymore, except in our local history collection, where those are like, yes, being preserved. But we've already made digital copies of them. But it is like, you know, we recognize that the way that we access information does change. And you know, that's a good thing. At the time. So a lot of times, as far as like it increases access for individuals. But I love what we get to do in the library is we get to really like think about our community and how they access information. And you know, a lot of people are like, well, why would you even invest in the physical audiobooks? But when you think about it, we serve McLennan County, and so there are members of our county where it actually is very difficult for them to get reliable high-speed internet access because they're in more rural areas. And so we have those individuals who are coming into the library and checking out the physical CDs of the audiobooks. And so that's important for us as librarians to think through. You know, as we navigate those changes, how do we ensure that we still are kind of carrying our community along?
And you kind of talked about kind of like local archives and stuff. I kind of wanted to highlight that because I remember my husband, he had a moment, he was like, I want to know so much about Waco. And I did not know that we had that down there. But also West Waco Library is like our closest one, and they have the okay, I was like, am I gonna say right, genealogy center? And like even I was looking at the March events, it's like find your mom's maiden something or something like that. And so I'm like, I was gonna say, I don't think a lot of people know about that.
Well, you know, as far as like, you know, we bring our stories to the library, but sometimes, you know, like, we actually come to the library to learn about our stories. And that has been really exciting to see community members come in. Some of them, as far as like are contacting us from out of state, even internationally, because they are trying to track down, you know, hey, I found this reference to like, you know, my family, or perhaps as far as like to this individual, can you help me find more details about their time while they were in Waco? And our staff over at the Genealogy Center, our local history librarian, they really are amazing researchers, and they will go digging through the archives, through like old newspapers, through the vertical files that have been assembled just with paraphernalia that kind of captures our story in different ways. And so it's really exciting. To kind of see people discover things about their family.
I feel like that also just speaks to the genuine, deep love, care, and intentionality that the library has, like for the community, even down to the individuals that like work in it. Like, y'all choose to do this because you care so much, and that's such an. I have felt that from other like my hometown. I want to share some love from my hometown libraries, but I just feel like it's been so eye-opening and getting to speak with y'all. And Mónica had the privilege of getting to hear a little bit of y'all's meetings, so we got to hear different branches sharing about like what they've had going on, and just getting to be in the space with so many librarians all at once was just so good for the heart of just hearing how much y'all all care about our community so deeply. I think I want to say that that's something very special as well.
And how much y'all carry like our community stories too. Because I was gonna say, like in that when we came and did the training, we got to hear everybody's stories. You know, some of the librarians were getting emotional, and it's like they know the community members. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's also. I say this all the time. People do not appreciate libraries enough. They really just think it's books and out, and but I'm like. I mean, I'm really about to come to this cafe, that cafe. Like, I'm ready.
Well, and I'm so glad that you mentioned that as far as like, we offer a lot of programs. We try to highlight, these are activities that you can do in our community. These are like, resources out there that you can connect to. The Cat Cafe is a partnership with Pet Circles. So, we have a lot of animal lovers on staff, and there are a lot of animal lovers in our community. And so this is just an opportunity to come and love on the animals. It does provide like an enrichment opportunity for the animals as well, but it's also hopefully connecting, people with their future pets. And so we're excited that we get to do this partnership. And so there are multiple cat cafes planned. Yeah. Next one is on March the 14th. Pie Day. I have heard that pie is going to
that's what's on the advertisement.
That's so exciting.
And I was gonna say, even talking about that partnership with Pet Circle, like talking about how y'all even take this is a donation like drop off for like blankets and all the toys for the animals at the shelter. So it just speaks to how, yes, y'all are at the library, but y'all have so many connections going out and then coming in as well. Because like when that was posted, I don't even remember, was that last year, I think, that it started? I don't remember, but I was like, oh, Jeremiah, like my husband, I was like, we can just go by West Waco Library. We're going to pick something up from the store. We can just drop off a blanket on the way.
Yes.
And check out a book and a movie.
Two birds, you can multitask.
Yes. Yeah, exactly. And it holds meeting spaces like this. Like,
So like, if you have a library card with us, and you're wanting to like use a room or you're needing to have a space where you can have like a personal meeting or just like, gathering space. Like, we have students who are needing, the opportunity to like gather and work on a group project. We have nonprofits who need to have just kind of like a planning or vision meeting. So you can book our rooms for free. We have an online booking system. We have rooms of various sizes. This is one of them. We have ones that this is smaller. It accommodates about 15 to 18 people top. But then we have our meeting rooms that can accommodate 80 to 90 people. And so that can be something. And I love to see the different types of groups that are able to get our rooms for non-commercial. Endeavors.
I think maybe one more question, just to be mindful of our time, and then we can do some of our notes. But you've mentioned in several ways like how important the input and the experiences of the community are to the library. What are ways that y'all like gather that information? Or my brain always wants to use the word data, but I guess like what are some of the tools that y'all use to stay so connected and to keep the needs of the community at the forefront of what we're doing?
As far as like, so we do keep stats. There are multiple reasons for why we keep stats. We have to do an annual report for the state, for our accreditation at the library. But also as far as like stats are just helpful for us.
We can relate very strongly.
Yes. It is really important to kind of see like by stats you can kind of assess different needs. Now, obviously, you only capture what's there, and so we do recognize, probably as you guys do as well, what is missing. Who have we not connected with yet in our community in and of itself? That's data in and of itself. So we're always trying to think through like, how are we connecting with people? But as far as stats go, like we look at, how people respond to the programs we offer. And so that kind of can help shape like what we offer for programs. For books, like we keep stats on what is checking out. It's like, oh, we need a lot of dinosaur books. Perennial favorite. We are able to kind of assess okay, how frequently do they circulate? What's the demand? How often are these books on the shelf? If they're not on the shelf, that means they're not available for checking out. So that means we probably need to bring in more copies. That's kind of so cool, right? And the things you don't think about behind the scenes that are underneath the surface of a library. We also, we actually have on our website a couple of different ways that the community can reach out to us. First, we have, suggest a purchase for the library. Because we do recognize, we have we know a lot about books and DVDs and items. We track all of the release dates and we can see okay, what's most in demand, in our region, in the nation, Obviously, if this book is popping up on TikTok, the likelihood is there will be someone in our community. Someone will want that book. Someone's going to want it. So we try to be aware of that, but we recognize we will potentially miss things. And so we love hearing from community members saying hey, you should get this book. And here's why. So that is available to any community member to put that suggestion in. We also have a Ask a Librarian link where people can just kind of reach out with various questions. That can help us gauge our accessibility. Okay, are we getting repeated questions on how do I do this? Yeah. Oh, that helps us know that we perhaps need to, do some flyers that kind of instruct people, or maybe some really informal instructions on how people can access this resource.
Because I was going to say, when we were talking to the desk folks, I was like, this is not the front desk, but I saw that it was how to print. Yes, and things like that. Yeah. And these are different printers.
Yeah, they are different printers. We have wireless printing now, where you literally can submit your job at home. And then, I know, right? Did you know that?
Yes. Oh my gosh.
Y'all heard it here first.
So there's a wireless printing app. And so literally you can upload your job from home and then just swing by the next day.
Oh, that's nice.
Your job, which I literally was, oh my God.
Game changer.
And so we recognize, that's not necessarily the most intuitive process. And so we needed to have
every printer is different and they're all weird and they are all spiteful. It sense fear.
And so to have a one-page document that's hey, you're trying to print, here's how you do it, and kind of that decision tree. Yeah, it's helpful. So
I guess what are also just before we close out, I lied. We're gonna have one more thing. What are some of the different ways that people can either get involved with the library or also support the library?
Well, as far as please, visit us. It really does help to have those door counts, to have you walk through the doors. We love to have people use our online resources. And believe it or not, as far as we also have those stats. And so that is really helpful. Those visits online, so checking out the ebooks, the e-audio books.
I've been giving y'all a lot of visits recently online.
That all helps us, and so please continue to do that as well. I would say, let us know. Send in those suggestions, give us the feedback. We don't know what we don't know. And so if there's something that you're kind of this is missing, I don't have access to this, please reach out and let us know about that. Be involved. That's what I would say. Get a library card.
Absolutely.
And visit us.
Okay. Awesome. I would say, well, naturally, both our relationship goal and our recommendation are going to be library related today. It's not often that we keep them so on topic, but just couldn't help ourselves. So our relationship goal for you this next week is to utilize your local library in some way. Not everybody is a book reader, and that's okay. The library, as we've talked about, has so many other resources that you can use as well. You can even just check out a magazine or an audiobook or a movie. So we just want to encourage you to pick a topic that matters to you, that excites you, that you want to learn more about, and then utilize one of the library's resources just to educate yourself a little bit more on that topic this week.
And my recommendation, Sarah did kind of allude to it, is to get a library card. Because I mean, you can check out so many things. You can print. You can rent a meeting room. Get a movie. I'm like, there's so many things. And also, I kind of want to add to your relationship goal too. Every library is different. Yeah. I think about the public libraries that I visited in Chicago, and they have like a tool share. Like they have like a tool library. I'm like, whoa. So yes, get a library card, and yeah, that's really it. Yeah. Do you want to share about what you need to get a library card?
Yes. Let me tell you a little bit about that. So first of all, anyone who resides in McLennan County can get a free library card with us. As far as guess what, guys? It's free. And we want people to know that it is free because a lot of times we have individuals who come in and go, how much does it cost?
Is there an annual fee?
Yeah, right. Like exactly. As long as you are a resident in McLennan County, it is completely free. Now, to kind of prove that residence, what you do is you come in with your photo ID. If you're an adult, come in with that photo ID, and then also an additional item that shows residence here in McLennan County. So that could be like a utility bill. That could be your car insurance, basically anything that has your name on it and your residence address that is current and to date. And then we get you signed up. You can actually fill out the online application ahead of time by going to our website, wacolibrary.org. There's a little link that says get a library card. You can also go to account catalog, and the link is there on that page as well. You just fill out that online form, then come in with those 2 forms of ID, and our staff will have your library card in your hand probably in less than 5 minutes.
The process was so quick for me. I did the online application, but then I think I waited too long. So I think there's like a 7-day time limit or something. I waited too long, so I ended up just having to bring it all in, or do it all in person anyways. But it's still, it was maybe 3 minutes. And then just double check, because I think it was this way for me. I don't remember if I brought something printed out, but for that secondary form, like the utility bill or whatever, is it okay if that's digital?
It is absolutely all right if that is digital. I've had people who have pulled up their Amazon accounts and shown that they have had a package
that's
delivered to their house.
Just about anything that has your name and your address on it.
That is correct. That's all you need.
Well, thank you for that.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Yay. Honestly, well, that's all for this episode. Thank you so much for tuning in once again. We'll be back next week with another media analysis for you. But in the meantime, if you're wanting some more prevention content, you can find us on Instagram at ACCVC_prevention. And if you're just wanting to stay connected with the Advocacy Center, you can find us on Instagram and Facebook at Advocacy Waco. But in the meantime, we'll see you next week. Bye.
Thanks so much for tuning in to Real-ationship Goals. This episode was produced by the Prevention and Education Department of the Advocacy Center for Crime Victims and Children in Waco, Texas. Interested in more content from P&E or the Advocacy Center? You can follow us on Instagram at ACCVC_prevention or on Instagram and Facebook at Advocacy Waco. Be sure to like this episode and follow us wherever you get your podcasts. See you next time. Bye.